some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Okay, hello, everybody. I'm sorry. Welcome back to FANGIN N BANGIN with Gangrel and Kid Cadet. And I guess it's episode 7. Again, like always, I was supposed to do homework or do something or write something down. I mean, Raymond gave me a nice notebook when we left here last time and said, these are for your ideas in the show and stuff. And of course, the next time I see the notebook is when I went to walk into here this morning. But so I have no clue, no idea, not a Scooby-Doo of what's going on. So how are you?
You rhymed.
A little bit of Cockney, Scooby-Doo, having a clue, like England.
We would have gotten away with it too.
Yeah.
I'm good. Recovering from a long 4th of July weekend.
Yes,
so
how was that weekend?
It was fine. I was like in bed by 7:30. It was brilliant.
Did you blow shit up or anything?
No, I still have all of my fingers. 10
Your
fingers,
digits.
10 toes,
Yeah,
you know? Dude,
yeah.
okay, how was yours? Because
I'm not a big fan, like, we've covered it before of lighting fireworks and stuff like that and things that go boom boom and stuff. But it was chill, it was mellow. So we live on the 21st floor and it faces the ocean side. So actually we can look east, west, and north. So all the way, pretty much all the way around, and south from the balcony. So it's kind of on the corner, but you can see it. So I seen the fireworks all over South Florida. So it was pretty cool.
I feel like I watched the fireworks through watching your stories and everything. So
East, north, east, and south. Yeah, I could see west though. You look around the corner. Yes, really blessed. We could actually see all sides going on. You know, so it was like you saw them on the. Oh,
I watched. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I put them up right when I put that up. I went to bed. I went to bed.
I live vicariously through you and your fireworks, but I guess like really quick, we should mention like hurricane season started. We got very lucky. I feel very blessed that we were able to do this episode today because Elsa.
You were worried about it again.
I was.
Again, a lot like that notebook. I hadn't turned the news on it.
You're like, there's a hurricane? I'm like,
yes. Usually you'll get an alert or something, but like
it was 5 days out. Listen,
yeah.
I'm one of those people, like I love to track storms.
So well, it's technically like, I guess this is probably going to drop next week. So it's like skirting now. It's coming in now. Technically on the West Coast, but it's just a storm now, right?
It is. I mean, storm surge is real. You live by the water. So do I. It's dangerous.
Well, I've always lived by water, but I never lived up where I could actually see the water. So one of my biggest fears in life are tidal waves. I picture this big tsunami, like tidal wave coming in and just like sucking you back out to sea. I've seen all these videos and I'm terrified of that.
It is.
Terrified.
It is very terrifying.
You can just imagine being on the beach and just watching the ocean just disappear. It sucks out the sea. Next thing it comes back, this wall of water and just sucks you out.
No thanks. hard pass on that, but
oh crap, what's going on in wrestling? Is there anything we need to know about wrestling? Because again, I have the worst podcast for wrestling because I don't know what the hell is going on. So please tell me you know what's going on.
Thank you for thinking that. I guess like one of the things, and we should say producer Raymond wanted us to mention was
well, he I don't even think he watched this, but whatever, we'll go on about it.
Well, producer Raymond came in with notes, but both of us were like, what day is it? And producer Raymond's like, look, here we go. Here's an itemized list of things. Oh, the eyes are out, guys. If you wanted to see it, there we go. So I believe it's about 10 years and a couple months since CM Punk had, one of his most famous or infamous pipe bombs.
Right.
And so I guess that the question is how do you feel about when people kind of, go out? I don't know the right word. Is it going to business for themselves? I don't know. Like, kind of put it all out there. Do you think it impacts a career?
Put it out there, though. His pipe bomb was on TV for the company he works for, right? So it's hard for me because everything's smoke and mirrors in wrestling. So it's hard for me to trust or believe anything that is not approved by Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? So if he's out there and he's putting it all out there, did he have an okay to put all that out there? Is that what they asked him to do? So is it ultimately the work of a work of a work? Like how many angles is to that? You know what I mean? So when I watch it, when I see it's on, if it was him doing a podcast or he's just ranting in a private interview with somebody in a one-on-one, then I'd be like, oh, I don't know about that because, people tend to talk so negatively about stuff. And I personally believe I owe pro wrestling everything. It owes me nothing. I've been very blessed. It took me off the streets. It gave me some purpose. It gave me some direction. It gave me something to do with my life. It gave me somewhere I feel like I belong, and I have an extended family and somewhat more of a family with some people than my own family, unfortunately. But I'm getting better at it. I call all my family now. I'm the one that calls. I don't think they call me. If they're listening, they don't call me as much as I call them anymore. But before I would disappear, I would go off for like, years and years, and I'd pop up and just show up. Hey, what are you doing? And they go, what? You run out of money in the ATM because I was partying or something. But where are we going? So if it's if I see something like that, I think I don't think it's. I wouldn't do it. But when I see it on the actual show and everything, I tend to believe that it's been produced and approved and okay, because if it's a live show, they would have cut it. If they didn't want to air it, they wouldn't air it.
I feel like my eyes are like open now because I remember watching that and being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like he's doing this. Like, this is crazy. And now you're saying this and I'm like, oh, my life's a lie.
He's just a recycled Stone Cold, no?
And like we were saying,
he was wearing a Stone Cold shirt probably on that pipe bomb, right? Like, he had the Stone Cold. So it was kind of like, let's just recycle and put a little bit more realistics on it. Let's just say it a little bit more than what Stone Cold insinuated, Just, but CM Punk, like, I hear a lot of stories, this and that, but the dude's been nothing but cool to me. Like, anytime I ever met him when he was coming up, people do change when unfortunately, you get to a certain level. I don't know if the real person really comes out who they are, but I don't know his story. All I could vouch for is my interactions with him, and he was always super cool with me. So
I love hearing that. I really do.
And I'm stoked because I always believed, and this other guy I don't like, my old partner, I'll just call him Apocalypse. We always believed Cult of Personality would be the perfect heel song. This is like all the way back in like 89 or whenever, or like they came out. Like, we used to go, that'd be a great heel song, Cult of Personality. So then when he come and recycled that back out, that was tremendous. So
it's one of my favorite entrance songs. Oh, before we go on though, so today was the first time I ever heard your entrance music backwards, and it freaked me out.
Yeah,
it's so freaky.
Yeah, we've talked about it. I know I've talked about it on. I think they referenced the clip from the Chris Van Bleek interview.
Chris Van Bleek.
Chris is a good dude. He's out there in LA now.
He is. He's amazing.
Tremendous guy. Right, Chris, if you're listening, you're probably not. But I think Channel 7 misses you. Channel 7 truly misses you. This new dude, I don't even watch the news anymore. That's why I don't know what's going on with hurricanes or anything else. Because, Chris, you're not on there. I only watched it to see you. Yeah.
Deco Drive.
So, Deco Drive. It's the Deco Drive, but he'd pop on the main show too. And he'd bring them into the wrestling school. He was really cool. So, yeah, I was explaining to him here. I know we talked about it some on here. I don't know. I keep my memory. Everything's a blur here on how in depth we've talked about it or not. But
you had mentioned that there was something that when you play it backwards.
Right. So you know all that like whispering and stuff. Because I was talking about the Toadies, I think, here.
The Toadies.
And they did it. But what's his name? Johnson was a big fan of the Beatles, right? And then so when you play it backwards, it says "I bury Paul, walk with me." So it'd be like "I bury Paul, walk." It's really scary. So yeah. So
hearing that today, like I got goosebumps. Like, it's terrifying.
I think. Well, I thought until now. Now I've seen some other. I think it was like WrestleMania covered it or something, like one of those YouTube things. Yes, I'm very bad. I go around and I watch all the gossip and stuff like that.
The hot gossip.
Yeah. Skip the show. Let's just watch the gossip. Let's just get straight to the point, But no, they cover some cool things. They'll be like doing like top scary entrances and stuff. Of course, if I troll down and I see my bug-eyed fanged face there, I'm gonna stop. Oh, me. What's going on here? Sometimes I'm scared because you're gonna get your feelings hurt. But usually, I read the title. Oh, top and scary. Okay, this is safe. Oh, theme musics with subliminal messages. Oh, this is pretty safe, I think. I hope, So yeah, they covered that. They covered that with a little thing, the top 7 or something like that. Subliminal messages, like they did to Bray Wyatt, like so where he would do an interview and he was talking about the yellow eyes, and obviously that was the theme later, and stuff like that. And then with the Undertaker and American Badass, different things like that. So I knew it was a safe one to click on.
It was a good one
and check it out. But then But when I was listening to what you hear, actually, I said, "Hey, Heather, check this out." I'll kick it down. Sorry,
it's not Heather. Exposed. Folks.
But I played it, and you were saying it gave you goosebumps. It did me too. It was so like now I think when I'm going to the ring, I'm probably gonna hear the backwards unmasked version. Like, so I'm gonna be creeped out going to the ring. So, but it was pretty cool.
It was cool.
It was cool. We should have.
Cool but creepy.
Yeah, we should have played it on here.
Can we?
Like, might be able to hard to find. You have to entertain people while I find it.
Okay. I'm gonna invisibly juggle or.
Yeah, can we juggle? Talk about some. Can we talk about the con world today too?
Totally.
Because I'm fascinated by some of the things that go on there, and you have more of an inside deal with that than. Oh no, I don't know where it is.
Okay. Well, while he's looking that up. What?
I can clip it in the video.
Oh, he can clip it in.
Oh, he's gonna clip it in. Okay, are you sure? Because I have no idea where it is.
If you go to your history.
Oh, history, library, history. Ooh, we don't want that on there.
No one can see your phone. I don't think that there's a camera pointed at.
No, we don't want to see the phone. We want to see the phone. Oh, we got commercials because I will not pay for the premium. Yeah. So, all right. So, here it is.
This was a great marketing
guy.
His theme song simply titled
What? I don't know. This is what site is this? WrestleMania, Raymond? WrestleMania. So I'll let you listen to it. Can you hear it?
To the song that was only recently revealed. According to Gangrel himself, if you play the song backwards, there's a secret message related to the popular band The Beatles.
Such media journalist.
Gangrel would reveal in an interview with Chris Van Vliet that if he had the right skills and technology to play it backwards, the guy who did the music, Jim Johnston, was a big Beatles fan. So it says, "I bury Paul, walk with me." Yeah, it actually does.
That was that. So that was some great technology, right? Yeah. Studio just pulled the iPhone on and everything, but you got to be careful when you pull up your library history on there in front of people. No, it's not porn. What you're thinking? It was Pee Wee Herman.
You're watching Pee Wee Herman.
It's Pee Wee Herman. There was a wrestler in South Florida. He just come out to Pee Wee, but he would do the walk. And I see him every day. I just seen him last night. Soul Man Alex G. You met the Soul Man.
Yeah, I sure have.
But one of his original entrances was the Pee Wee Herman. He would do the whole walk with the dance. He'd wear like a jacket with like a little tails on it and something.
That's great. I appreciate it. So speaking of when I think of listening to something backwards, do you remember that song Missy Elliott? Remember she did a part backwards? It was like, I throw my thing down, flip it and reverse it. No? Do you remember that?
That sounded good. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, but I can't put the name on. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm familiar with it. Then she flips it. Anyway, but that was really cool to hear, for the first time.
No, so what about the double Dutch bus where all the wrestlers speak this secret language called Carney, and it's like the Diazell, Diazach, Biazas, but we wrestle we Azach, Diaza, Kliazos, Liazine, right?
What?
We Azach the Liazine. Watch the line. Clothesline. Watch close. So everybody thinks it's some mysterious thing, but I don't know where it comes from. They used to say it came from the carnival world. A mark. They say Miazark. Here comes a Miazark, or a Rube, which is somebody they'd be hey Rube. So Riazub. No, never heard of this.
No, that's so cool though.
I think I have a hard time. When I work these. I was trained by Malenko and Rusty, and Rusty, he's a big fan of I guess they call it Carney, Kiazarni, Carney, the type of like something like a pig, but you double up. I don't know how to explain it. I just know how to speak it. Double up the vowels. Kiazid, kid, Kiazid,
Kizid, okay,
Kiazid, Diazet, kid, cadet. So. Kiazid Cadet. That's a hard one because Kiazid. That's a hard one.
Bless you.
Heather would be Heather.
His other. Okay.
Or Cleazos, Liazine, clothesline, or Biazati, Sliazam, body slam. Hezip, Tiazos, hip toss. Weezach, Ease out, Fizor, these Miazarks. Watch out for the marks.
Watch out for the marks.
Here's your Kizum, Seasum, Fiazans. Here comes some fans, Stuff like that. So the Double Dutch Bus was doing that, like, the Double Dutch Bus. Like, we got to play this and on it, like the Diaz. Like,
this is so crazy.
No, so my problem, I think, I don't know how we got onto this, but, like, is I still, like, I call stuff like that in the ring, and I don't realize it because, like, I come back from the ring, and these young guys go, I have no idea what you're saying to me. Like, because I think I'm always on program. I'd be like, we watch the design instead of saying watch a line, But I'm whispering it, and it's in their ear, and I'm saying it in some foreign language to them. Like, what?
Like, is he possessing me? What's happening?
And they're hooking the ropes. I'm like, fuck. Clothesline. Sorry, they dropped the F one. The clothesline, man. Like, and then I think I got them so confused. That's why they're always so frantic. They think I'm upset because because now I'm like screaming at them in Kiazarni too. Dizam is it? We said Dizam. And I go, Dizo Pizanch. And I'm like, what is this guy's possessed? What is he saying? Because I'm talking in like I'm calling everything because it's like some kind of secret like whatever code thing.
Okay.
But yeah, though they say I don't know if it's right or wrong. I mean, what I was told is it came from like the carnival workers. Okay. That's why I called it Carney, Kiazarni, So it was just like a little side language I'd use to talk amongst like punters or marks. Like if your boyfriend will say, kid cadet's got, I'm drawing a blank on, your man's name. Vincent. Jude. That's we've got so many aliases in this world of entertainment. So Vincent. So you're walking hand in hand, and you're like, oh, I want that Leaf Garrett mirror or whatever, or I want that roach clip with the feathers, whatever. So you got to go throw darts at the balloon, but they would see you coming with him, and they go, here comes a Ryazub, here comes a Miyazaki, right? Because they see he's got a girl, right? So now they're gonna hustle you to get him to play these games, right? The thing. So they had their own little language and stuff. And then I guess wrestling started out, and originally a lot of it, especially over in the UK, they do these things called booths, right? Where they would like literally be at like a carnival or sideshows, and it'd be like, hey, you, and they'd have one plant in the audience, and one guy would be a plant, but like two people would be like legit people, and they would hustle you up to come in there if you could beat this guy or whatever. But they all, everybody had this language, different language, and in the States too. So it all started like wrestling started in like carnivals and stuff like that. It was, they were wrestling bears and shit, and stuff. Think about it. If you go back through history, and stuff where it really comes from.
Wow. See, like, my best friend and I talk in gibberish. Like, do you know gibberish?
Is that like ikri, dikri?
No, it's like what a guy's gonna go, what a guy's gonna go, what a gang gonna gone, what a gear to the goo, what a gang gonna go, put a god, could a gas to the goo, to the gay, what a get again, get a gang, what a go.
I heard gay guy, kick ass. Right? I don't know. I'm not saying kick gay guy ass. That's what I heard. Like,
but what a guy to the guys to the gay. That's not what I said.
It's not. It's well,
we're just going to talk in secret codes.
We're officially going to start testing here in Vision Studio.
Well, we were going...
What do you have in your chalice there? It's only like 9 a.m. over right now.
I don't... Whatever Raymond put in my chalice.
You got to watch what Raymond's putting in there. He might be looking to take... Got you talking gibberish.
So we were going to talk about conventions, but before we do, I know there is
conventions or conventions. See, now you're still talking gibberish. Oh, conventions. I'm just hearing gibberish. Dimensions, like
conventions.
Like, wow, buried Paul, walk with me. We got all kinds.
There's a lot happening.
A lot happening really fast. So my head's spinning.
Well, there is is it a Bigfoot convention that's happening?
This weekend. Well, when this drops, I don't know if it's already happened, but yeah, there's one in Lakeland.
Are you going?
I'm thinking about it. It says like you buy the tickets online. I'm a big skunk ape, Bigfoot believer. Yeah. Going?
Am I going?
Yeah.
I would go if you went.
I'm going. I'm thinking about going. It's this Saturday, which
soon.
Yeah, it's soon. So if this will air in like 2 weeks, it'll just pass when this is airing. So I'm thinking about it. I was looking at the guest speakers and all that and everything, and the only thing to turn me is it's like a 3.5 hour drive or something.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that's
not
deterring
close.
Me. Right? And I'm not sure what to expect, like the speakers, because I might ask questions. Is it true that the porcupines eat the bones? That's why you can't find Bigfoot bones. Is
that a real thing?
That's what I hear.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why you can never find the Bigfoot bones. But me being the believer I am, I'm thinking like The Bigfoot's just, they just get rid of everything so you can't find it. What do you think?
I don't even have thoughts after that. I never even thought about that.
Raymond, you believe in Bigfoot over there?
No, but I like this segment. You guys should.
He's like, move along as fast as possible.
Maybe we can start. I don't know about a Bigfoot segment or not. What are you thinking? Like maybe a little 5 minutes.
Let me ask you: is there any other podcasts that have a Bigfoot segment? You could be the first.
I don't know about a wrestling podcast, but
Yeah.
there's some Bigfoot podcasts.
wrestling-
There's just like an hour and a half from here. There's like a Bigfoot headquarters, Sasquatch headquarters, like
What?
out Tamiami Trail, like out in Miami, out in the swamp.
No, I didn't
Skunk
know
Cave
that.
Central or something like that. Yeah. Because I was thinking about taking a trip there before I did the
Closer.
3-hour trip to Lakeland.
Yeah.
But I might. It just really depends upon what's going on. Like I happen to be off. I'm not wrestling on the road this weekend. But I saw a show that I thought about reaching out to and to go up and visit them because they're like really cool people I like and stuff. So I thought about making a show, but if I don't go, there's a very good chance I may go last second and then take a chance of getting tickets at the door. If not, I'll just have lunch in Lakeland.
Yeah, I know. It's a
But
long
something
way for
tells
lunch.
me I don't know how big the convention hall is and stuff. So I'm not thinking they're going to be sold out. But there is a lot of Bigfoot believers.
There are. Yeah. There's a lot. So is Bigfoot the same as which one's in the Himalayas?
The Yeti?
The Yeti?
Yeah.
They're not the same, are they?
Well, don't mix the Yeti up with the abominable snowman.
And that's the Yeti too. There's
the
so
Yeti's a
many.
Bigfoot. He's a Bigfoot in the cold. That's all. There's a
He's a
skunk
Bigfoot in the
ape.
cold,
He's just a
skunk ape.
Bigfoot in the swamps because he lives out in the swamps, and that's why he stinks with all the methane gases and stuff like that. So.
Like, polar bears.
Like polar bears?
What the hell are you talking about polar bears? Where did polar bears go with
Bigfoot
Bigfoot?
versus a normal bear.
So like bears?
That's a white bear, and then there's a brown bear, and then there's the
Grizzly bear?
black bears. Now, when did we put races on bears? Like, what's going on?
love all bears.
Where did this go? How do we go? Yeah, yes, exactly. The Himalayans, yes, would be like, I guess, a polar bear, more equipped for the cold.
Thanks, Raymond.
So yeah, maybe his fur is whiter.
Okay.
Like maybe it's a big fur. I don't know. I'm so
Me neither.
confused
And
again.
now we're gonna
This is the third
research.
time I've ended up really confused today in a short period of time. Like,
It's early, folks.
it is. It was tired. And it was
Cheers.
one of those days I was thinking, who was coming in here, and I go, why did I agree to do a podcast? Because it's like, I don't feel like talking about anything today. It was just one of those days I wake up in these moods, and I don't know if the rest of the world does or not. There's just some days I wake up and I really have nothing to say.
Because you're human, and that's what happens. I mean,
I just wake up. I mean, the sun's out. It's not raining. Lord knows it's been raining here like 3 weeks, and 4th of July came. It's like, well, the government manipulated the weather. We're going to have like good weather for the 4th of July, and we got to make sure these fireworks get out, keep everybody happy in America.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks to whoever's controlling it. We appreciated the sunshine. So we'll have to figure out if you end up going to the convention. But speaking of conventions, do you remember the first one that you ever attended? Because I've seen you at quite a few, and I'm always really happy when I do.
It was probably a tattoo convention.
Ooh, cool.
What was it called down here? It was down here in Highlandale at the Double Tree. It had some other kind of name.
Like Tattoo Palooza or something like that?
Yeah, it was something different. You'd walk in there and they had people hanging from hooks and suspensions and stuff. And,
No thanks.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Hard pass. Was it?
Yeah,
Doesn't
it
that
was
look
cool.
so painful?
Yeah. It does, but it's not me hanging. So
Okay.
as long as it's not me hanging from it, I'm good with it. Hang all day, dude, or girl, or whatever. Have a good time. No, I don't remember what convention. I wasn't big into the conventions or really understood. Like we mentioned before, where I've just recently gotten into like. I'm not even really into comic books or graphic novels. I mean, I have one with my life story, and then according to Raymond, I'm going to be doing another one. Anyways, that's why if you came in here, did you see the Marvel?
I sure did.
Stuff?
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, he's like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this and this and that. But he doesn't know I want to do one my Bigfoot one. I'm going to do Bigfoot. What, you talking about Bigfoot, right? We could do a Bigfoot, not me, right?
Sure, you could be Bigfoot.
Well, maybe me and Kid Cadet will be like friends with Bigfoot. And we'll go on these adventures and these journeys.
I would love that.
Yeah. So maybe that whole thing that I was telling you, that storyline with the Bigfoot, the wrestlers, it'd just be me and you. We go out and then we end up befriending the Bigfoot. We'll be his managers and we go on the road.
My God.
Then he turns out to be a jerk like Ric Flair.
Sabu.
Then he go send him to rehab and everything else and get him all right. But My first convention, first con. I don't know. It had to be through. They were around when I was in WWF, right? They were so smaller, like Monster.
There's like Monster.
Crypticon or Chiller Thriller. The Chiller Thriller.
Okay.
Does that make? That's right.
I think there's in New Jersey.
New
right?
Jersey, yes,
okay.
yes, right in Hackensack or something like right in New Jersey. Yeah, I think that might have been my first one.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and then I've been to a few, and then I've been to a few like monster related ones, like there's one in Seattle. There's been so I did a lot of those as Gangrel because the vampire character and stuff. So they would send me out either on a third party appearance or something like that, and then later on I did mainly like more horror type of stuff. Then the last 5-6 years ago, so done more like the Comic Cons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest one I did was the New York City one.
You got to do New York City.
Yeah, Kingston. Michael had a table and he invited me up, so I just sat down and go, I don't really want to do this, and but I usually would work for somebody. They'd give me a set fee and I'd just come in and sign, right? So I wasn't like pimping or hustling myself, right? So but they would, but I didn't care. I don't like to ask people to do anything. I don't want to ask them to buy anything or this. Oh, hey man, this. I like hello. I go to shows and I take pictures of people. I don't want to charge or anything like that. But there's a new generation. Everybody charges for everything. Here, charge for my sweat. But I don't personally feel comfortable doing that, so I don't like to do that. But he was like, no man, just drop at the table and stuff. Man, I gotta tell you, like I was only there 2 days and I probably walked away like $6,000.
That's amazing.
Not even trying to sell anything. Just people were just throwing money at you. You're like, what the heck? But I don't put value on myself. And then I leave there something like that in New York City. And New York City always shows I always feel the love in New York City. When I go there, all the way from the minute I get off the plane at TSA to the dude selling the pretzels on the side of the road, everybody loves wrestling in New York City, and they know who you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been off TV. They know, yeah, Growl. I used to see you in Philly when you were the Vampire Warrior. So. Yeah, a lot of love in the Northeast for wrestling. So. That Comic Con was like a really, really great experience. But they've all been fun because you go around and like I know I marked out when I met Flash Gordon. Flash.
His name's Sam.
Sam.
Yeah.
But he was like super cool dude.
He is.
The other guy, I like Clerks a lot, and he gets mad because I call him Dante. He goes, my name ain't Dante. Like he gets super mad. But I would hang out with him and go. They're not much different than wrestlers. They're all animals. Like but we went and saw. I think we saw Danzig together, like the Misfits and all played at one of the ones we were at, yeah, and Danzig, and then Glenn came out, the Royal was with them, and it was pretty dope.
I would love to see like the Misfits with Danzig, and they're doing a couple shows.
Yeah,
but...
no, it was good. It was, I guess as Raymond and this young generation would put it, it was lit. But I'd say it was lit, dope.
Well, I remember there was a convention. I want to say it was maybe here, maybe Raleigh. No, it was in Miami, and I did a panel for you, Booker T, Teddy Long, and Jake the Snake.
Well, there's some very well-spoken people on there.
Well, so panel starts, and, we're talking, and everyone's telling cool stories, and then, 5 minutes into the panel, Jake goes, I have to go, and just left the panel.
I was on this panel, too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know where he went. And I haven't seen him since.
Haven't seen him since. Well, he's managing Lance Archer now, like in AEW, right?
I was so
Hoyt, yeah.
Yeah. But I would love to know why he just got up. Did I say something?
He probably had to pee. It just didn't feel like coming back after he peed.
That would make me feel so much better.
Yeah. Oh, we'll go with that. I don't think, how many years ago was this?
5. 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah, he was probably somebody was probably traveling him. He probably just went and peed or something. Okay. Yeah.
Phew.
Because he used to have a couple people travel with him because he was on a hard journey to correct a lot of or try to get the demons under control, which is really, really hard. Like for that guy, I mean, I just watched watched the Dark Side of the Ring with the Smith family and the stuff. If that crap is remotely true, and I know on Robin's part, a lot of that is true. It's very dark. I don't know if you've seen it. Did you see it?
Not that one.
It's just. I was sitting there with my girl Susan. She goes, oh, I get why they call this the dark side of the ring. I go, yeah, but it's not usually this dark. It's not usually, I mean, it's dark, but like not like with incest and stuff like this. So it was a heavy thing. I don't know if there was any way to spin any light on that. I don't even know what light you could spin on it besides they both excelled. You know, she was a world champion, and Jake carried his anger towards his promo, you know, and used that towards his character. But it's horrible, horrible. Like I just sat there kind of quiet after that one ended. Oh,
I'm sure.
And I knew like Robin, because like I was friends with Robin a little bit back in the day, and so I knew that there was a lot going on in her life. And then she was friends with Luna, and like so I kind of hear that, and I was just like, that's when like when I tell people, when I started hanging out with Luna and in the world she took me into, there was no more gray area in wrestling. It was black and white. There was no in between, or no magical moments, or no butterflies and rainbows, and this caterpillar is going to grow and bloom out of the cocoon and be this beautiful butterfly. It's like, it is just black and white. And when I seen it like that, I think that's why it lasted so long in wrestling, because I understand it's black. I have no illusions in the middle. So so like when we go back to like that thing affected my opinion with the CM Punk thing, I go, wow, nothing would have got unimproved there. So if I would have seen him doing that on his own after he left the company, or if he did something while he was in the company and he ended up with a suspension, I'd have likely bought into it more. But true is probably how he felt. They'd probably just say, hey, go speak your feelings out there and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Where did we go to? How do we ended up here? Jake, he went to go pee or something.
Jake went to go pee. Never saw him again.
So how'd that panel go though? The rest
it was great. I thought you had, like, I remember it was one of the first times I ever, like, hosted something for you, and I remember you having some really good stories, which clearly you do.
And I'm not a panel guy. Now, it's funny that I'm talking now and I'm doing this podcast, but I would complain and moan about having to do those things. Like,
you told me that before, too. You're like, I'm not a panel guy, but because everyone else is on the panel, you're like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll just sit down here and I probably sat way down to the end. Was Jerry Lawler on that one, too?
No.
No, okay. All right. Yeah.
No.
Because I always sit, like, to the right of Jerry when I'm on one, because he's got good stories. I'll just sit over there and I'll just listen like a little fanboy. Oh, good. But yeah, I'm not a panel person. It's because a lot of it is I don't trust my own memory. Like I get dates, and I don't know if it's from the concussions or just the drug abuse when I was younger, or just old age. I getting older, but I don't trust my dates. I get my dates so mixed up. Like I was doing this one thing, and it was a game it's like a quiz night, like
trivia.
Yeah, it was this Avi Green. He has this thing called the Green Room or something. So I was on it, but he goes, "Oh, it's a trivia question," and I was like, "Oh, but I knew the answers, but I answered 2 of them wrong. I would have swept it, but I answered 2 wrong because I put them with my wrestling dates. So, but I had my wrestling dates flop from Puerto Rico to Calgary.
How dare you?
Or from Memphis to Puerto Rico, and I don't know how I could mix 93 up with 91, but I flopped them, and I answered because the one was when was Hurricane Andrew? You know, what year was Hurricane Andrew in Florida, right? So I was in Puerto Rico, so I missed Andrew. So I was in Puerto Rico in 91, 92, but I said 93, but I was in Memphis in 93, and I flipped my dates up. So.
And are you afraid that people are going to, like, call you out for it because there are so many wrestling historians?
Yes, because there's so many super smart, like, fans. They're so educated. But you know what I have realized is you can't trust that damn internet, because my Wikipedia is so far off half the time when you go on.
Have you ever edited
it
yourself?
Well, I've had somebody try to fix it, and then they got blocked or something, because like it was some fans are doing it. They don't even know. I don't know, at one point they always have the height wrong. Because, like, how tall do you think I am? And now I'm being vain because this always bothers me. Now we hit a nerve. Now we're getting in here. How tall do you think I am?
Okay, so I'm terrible at this.
But I got a grizzled knee and everything. So
I'm going to say 6'1" or 6'2".
I'm 6'2".
Okay.
Right? So no matter what, they have 6 foot in there. 6 foot. WWE put me at 6 foot. I think WWE was just ribbing me all those years. But because WWE said I was 6 foot and something. The Wikipedia, they changed it and they to 6'2", they put it back to 6 foot. I think they had the amount of kids wrong, the amount of marriages wrong, and a few other things. But I had the person I was married to at the time. I said, she goes, I'll correct it. And then they like, literally, she got like blocked or some kind of trouble or something.
That's so bizarre. But it's probably because you're a public figure. And so they just assume that people want to mess with celebrity profiles.
Who are they believing? Who they believe in somebody else is not, damn it.
Well, now we have it on record coming from your mouth.
Oh, this is not the first time I've complained about that.
Okay.
I've done some rants about Wikipedia.
Okay.
So it's hard to believe anything you read on the internet. But yes, I'm the original thing of what you asked me is yes, I'm terrified of mixing the dates up and looking like I'm full of shit. Like, cause I tell people it's so much easier to just be honest, like, and then to try to lie, because you can't keep track of stuff. But I can't keep track of my life, period. So I feel like people are thinking like he's just BSing, you know, like the stories and like even the music. Like for example, when we're talking about the music, I don't say it a whole lot. I go, oh, maybe I was so wrong about that. Maybe it doesn't say that. But then somebody played it, like, oh yeah, it was. It's like so many. I lived life so fast, and it was such a blur at one point. You know, like the 20 years that went by like this, and it was just like boom, 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 and then another. It's like almost It'll be 34 years September I've been wrestling, right? So these years of all like there's different stages, and it was prior to WWF, WWE. Then there was that. Boom, and then it's the years after, and then now we're at these like my senior years, like they call it. But these are still a blur too because I'm just as busy. I'm like 7 days a week.
You're the busiest person I know. Like you're always somewhere doing something.
Yeah, I might slow that down here soon, but maybe not. I say that I get kind of I get a little hair up my butt and get agitated with something or something. I overreact. Maybe I overreacted to something.
You're like a shark. You know, you have to always keep swimming.
Pushing forward, right?
Yeah.
I just heard that analogy somewhere.
I did too.
What was
it? Was
it was Gene. Yeah, it was Gene. Gene Simmons was on that Kiss thing. Yeah. That stuck with me when I said that. I said, oh, he said, I'm like a shark. You got to push forward to push the air and the oxygen through your lungs. I was like gills. So I was like, oh, that's pretty. Yeah. And I remember looking at my girl going, oh, that was pretty heavy. Yeah. Yeah, shark. I'm a shark.
I always said that about Mick too. Like Mick is the exact same way. Like I've never seen him stop. Like
him, I think he might be one of those guys with no bone. What's the thing with no bones in the body?
Cartilage?
What mammal has no bones?
Shark.
Shark. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Correct. You were correct. I just like to ask one more thing about conventions before I have another subcategory I wanted to ask you about. Who would be like the ultimate person that you would want to meet at a convention?
Well, I already met Alice Cooper, so that was kind of cool. Because he's right up there. That was cool. I like attacked him in the green room. He's probably like, who the hell is this guy? Like I had my badge on and everything. He's like, hey.
There's no way he doesn't know. No, he knows who you are. I mean, he's a wrestling guy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he knew me or not. He might have been overwhelmed. I was a vampire in jeans. You know, like I don't know what I was wearing. I think I had a collared shirt on that day. Maybe William Dafoe would be cool. Yeah,
good pick.
Yeah.
I love Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, or I don't know if he's still alive. I assume he is. Lance Hickerson, what's his name? From Near Dark and Aliens and all that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, I think he is. Well, let's not put that. That's horrible putting on.
We're hoping.
But he'd be pretty cool because, like, I was a big fan of this movie called. You ever see Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth? And he was like chains. He was this biker guy. And it was super cool. Well, we just get really off the path here, though.
That's okay. We're like,
but conventions, though, like, yeah, it would. There's brackets because there's actors and there's musicians. They're all at them, and wrestlers. You know,
That's what I love about it. Is like you can go with like a family, and you have, you're there to see Alice, and your kids are there to see My Hero Academia, and then your brother's there to see a wrestler. Like I love it.
But I see lines when I'm there for things that are like what it'll be like a line around the block for like a character artist or something, and like some insane things I find insane. They're not to these people, but I just like trying to wrap my head around them. Like, what does this guy do? Oh, he's like this green thing for something. Like, you've seen him. You probably have interviewed him. Stuff like that.
Gosh.
Different. Just different things. I'm not pulling one character out specifically. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like the Dragon Ball Z people, like Sean Schimmel and like Chris Sabat's lines are. I'm like, this isn't what a fandom.
And these damn Rangers, these Pink Rangers,
the Power Rangers,
yeah, Power Rangers, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. I see they always got a big ass line. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I need some Ranger power. Like, I need to get some Wonder Twins powers activate, kick ass on the Rangers or something.
Well, someone that I've never seen at a convention, he's unfortunately recently passed was Screech.
Oh, Screech.
And I believe that you had mentioned in passing that you had a story about Screech.
Well, probably I wrestled Screech. Wrestled Screech. So it was it was a promoter. I'm not sure if it was Dave Hero's show or it was his uncle's show, but it was in Milwaukee area, and it was they wanted us to wrestle Screech and somebody in a tag match, but it was me and Luna. So, and it was Screech, and I can't remember who it was, but it was another wrestler. I don't remember the other wrestler, unfortunately. I'm sorry for the other wrestler, whoever it was. Please don't be offended, because I'm sure I know you, and I probably had dinner with you, and probably will again. So, like, I just can't remember because it's the guy. So I remember, like, I was gonna go in, and because I teach a lot of wrestling schools, there's ways to get around. So I went there and made Screech look like $1 million with arm reversals and verses. I moved him in the right places. I don't know if I made him make like $1 million, but I made him look like a wrestler, right? So enough that he was in there and he was doing things. He was having fun, and I remember I tagged Luna in, and like. I got so upset. I tagged her in. Next thing you know, I just hear like, and she's got like Screech, like she just goes in there and just like whacks him. She knocks him down, and she's got his like neck across his throat across the ropes, right? And she's like standing on his back. I go, you're gonna break his back? She goes, I don't like this guy. I go, it's Screech. She goes, I hate that show. That show sucked. And he was the worst guy. She's in there beating the shit out of Screech, and I was worried for him too, and then I was like upset, thinking the promoter, like Dave and them are great people. I thought they would get upset, but at 3, I was like, I just made him look really good, so you just buried me. You went in there and just beat up Screech. I went in there trying to make him look good, and you just went in there and just mauled him. Like, I expect no less of her. But
Luna didn't like Saved by the Bell.
Screech was screeching for his life. I mean, yeah, he passed away. He had a lot of controversy, but I don't know. He got sick or something. Didn't take care of himself towards the end or something.
He had cancer and passed very quickly.
Yeah. It's terrible. Cancer is very terrible. But yeah, I can't. I don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing at the cancer thing, but I still have the visual of him just like draped across the ropes. His back is bent. I go, you're breaking Screech's back. It's Screech. Let him go. She hated that show. I would watch Saved by the Bell all the time. I still will. It's still on. Still on, yeah.
But we don't talk about the college years. Those we don't talk about.
No. Who was your favorite on Saved by the Bell?
Oh my gosh, I'm a Zach Morris.
You're Zach, yeah. That's AC Slater.
Oh, you're AC Slater. And then,
hey, Preppy.
And then Jesse goes on to do Showgirls, which was a rated X film, or NC-17.
Well, yeah, that's more adult driven. Yeah, Showgirls, and then the other one had a show with Miami Vice-y like. Was it where they? Oh gosh, I can't remember.
Me neither.
Yeah, what was I gonna? Oh man, I got lost. So,
well, did Screech train at all, like going into the match, or was it just kind of like he showed up and?
No, he just kind of showed up. But his manager at the time, I think, was like Dave Hero's uncle. I think he's sick with some stuff too. Maybe I might be cancer. I know he has something going on. So some positive vibes out to him. But God, I'm drawing blanks on names. But he was his manager. He was Screech's manager at the time. So wrestling and acting, and it all went hand in hand. So yeah,
that just seems so dangerous though, just to throw someone in a ring without any training.
Well, it's not dangerous when you put them in there with me, but you throw them in the ring with Luna. It's like, there's like being thrown to the people, and there's being thrown to the lions. He's a lion. She just destroyed poor Screech, and the anger, like the distaste she had towards that show, because I watched it so much. He didn't have a fighting chance, and I should have known. I should have foreseen what was going to happen. I mean, I was worried deep in my mind, because we literally had just did a show prior to that. I think it was a double shot, and she tried to beat a guy up this big guy. He's like 6'4", or like 350 pounds. His name's Pete or something. She goes to beat him up. So I should have known she was in a mood that day already. So to get in there and then have to work with Screech when she hates Saved by the Bell, because I repeatedly watched it over and over and over and over again. But speaking of like Hollywood and all that, who do you think works harder, Ryan Seacrest or Mario Lopez?
Oh, I think we briefly touched on this, but and I think I said Ryan Seacrest. I hope I like have the same answer. Else,
I'm sure you did. I think you
might
did.
have just
You know, as you said that, I wonder why that always bothers me. Who works harder? Like,
So, like, I don't know. I think I've told you, like, I auditioned for the first and second season of American Idol. So, like, I got to meet Ryan the second time around. First season, I got to meet Brian Dunkelman. Do you remember Brian Dunkelman?
No.
Okay. So Brian and Ryan were like co-hosting the first season of American Idol, and Brian's like, I'm good. He left. And now look at Ryan Seacrest. He's like the biggest star in the world, you know?
So, all right, so speaking of American Idol, so you got, all right, so let's go. Or you got Ryan Seacrest with Idol. And then you got, God, I just had his name in The Voice. Carson.
Carson Daly,
Who do you like better?
Oh, gosh. So, like, I'm an MTV kid. So, like, I'd say Ricky Rackman. Headbangers Ball, baby.
Headbangers Ball. I used to wait up to midnight just to watch concerts and stuff on MTV. But I go with Carson because he's human. Ryan Seacrest, I don't know if he's human. He might be an alien or something. He doesn't look like he's aged. He doesn't done none. Carson, he puts weight on, comes out with a scruffy like 5 o'clock shadow. Looks like he's been up all night. So like
probably has
maybe, but Carson seems real to me. It seems like that's a real guy. Like look, you can't. You're fighting age and weight and everything in life. These are really hard things. Where Ryan Seacrest just looks the same, if not better.
You know who I love as a host though is the guy that's hosting America's Got Talent now. And now I'm not going to remember his name either. He was the axe guy.
Makes everybody famous. Music guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was in White Chicks. That guy, but he's phenomenal. Are we getting the like? Let's do. Okay. He's like, you're going down another rabbit hole before it gets too late.
Yeah.
Pandora's Box.
Oh, Pandora's Box.
Are you ready?
Yeah, but now I'm haunted because I can't remember.
Can you tell us his name?
Raymond's not even paying attention. He created the shows. He's good at all. He does it in Britain and everything. He's English guy.
No, the guy.
Let's get on to Pandora.
I need to know the guy from it is what's his name? Host of America's Got Talent. It is
Nick Cannon?
No,
Nick's wilding out.
Terry Crews.
Oh, Terry Crews.
Yes.
Man, cheeseburger, all that. He's, when I moved to LA, I was like, I thought I couldn't sleep, and I had just moved to LA, and so I was in a gym at like 5 a.m. I thought like I'll be the only person in there. You know who was in there? Terry Crews. Killing it on the cardio, man. He was wind sprinting on it. I go, that guy's a beast. I go, where do I know him from? And then then I was watching something like later, like The Longest Yard came on. There he is. I go, oh yeah. What else? He's in so many different movies.
Yeah, Old Spice. That's what it is.
The Friday After Next or whatever. Hey, what's up? He's trying to go around raping now. He's trying to get up with like Ice Cube, like whatever. But yeah, people watch that and know what I'm talking about, man.
Fabulous.
Pandora's
Box, shall we?
Hey, what's in the box?
Because episode 7.
Episode 7. What's in the box?
I'll
take him here. Okay. You guys threw him on the concrete last time.
No, we didn't. We saved him. Okay, we got.
Maybe if I hold him, I won't ramble on. Today, this is what happens when I don't feel like talking. I can't get a set thought in my mind, and I just ramble. So, and I know, thank you everybody for all the compliments. I said, hey, the show's getting better with each episode. Sorry about this one.
This one's fun. They're gonna love it. I think we're gonna convert a lot of Bigfoot.
All right. Well, we're gonna save it with the Pandora box, and
there's quite a few in here, so we'll try to get through as many as we can. All right. Let's start with this one. If I could open, I cannot function in society with my nails. Okay. Okay. This is from Alejandro. Do you think John Cena will ever go heel? And would it be a good business move? How would you book him as a heel?
I'm confused. Wasn't he like a heel kind of anyway? I guess he was the ultimate face, but even though people perceived him like.
Are you talking about like before he was like John Cena when he was like? Thuganomics. I don't know.
The heck was he called? I can't. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I don't think, is John Cena ever going to come back to wrestling is the question. Because I think that boat's, it's gone. I mean, I think with all this, like The Rock, right? It's the same thing. When you do these big movies, like he just did like the Fast and Furious that came out, right? You have to there's more to it. You have to get insurance, the health, you get physicals, this and that, and you sign all these things saying, you're not going to get hurt because they're going into production to do these things. So I think like Father Time, like we talked about time and everything, and it depends upon how hot his movie career is. I don't know that he'll ever come back to more than just a one-off, so to kind of like The Rock has done.
Right. So he has Suicide Squad coming out.
All right.
Pathfinder, I think, is his character, and then he's getting a spin-off. So
right. So I don't think you're gonna see him.
You don't think we'll do like cross promotion or anything? Like, because Batista did come back for Guardians, like when he was doing Guardians.
Yeah, but how long?
It was like a WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just like the one-offs and stuff like that. So like, how can you? I wouldn't make John Cena heel if he came back for a one-off. I mean, that just be not good business. I don't think.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you want your guys to Hollywood, this and that, you're gonna go for one show, all of a sudden become a heel if you've been faced that whole time, and that's what you're like trademark and brand. Everybody knows you as like.
Right.
See me, this fun guy that maybe people heated on, because people had nothing else better to do but heel on him because he was just so America.
I miss John Cena. I feel like that's like.
I've said it before. I've never seen him have a bad match. People could say, "Oh, well, he hits the ropes with his feet up. He does this. He does that." But you know what? Every match he's in, and this is before it was even all scripted and rehearsed like they do now. Like good gosh, they script and rehearse everything now. But he always delivered. It was always there, And then it's just with culture and how things are, where the people are like heal him. At a certain point, I guess people grow up and they're like, it's probably the ones that cheered him when they were like little kids that growed up and he's still wearing the shorts and the things. They're probably the ones that are going, ooh, because, like,
I like the fact that, kids liked him, adults liked him. And like you said, he was so consistent and like that guy can
Prototype was the character. Prototype was the character.
Yeah.
My mind's moving slow today.
That's okay. We're getting through it.
Yeah, I don't think, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't book him as a heel. Not at that stage or anything. But I'm not Vince McMahon or any creative team. I'm just Gangrel or David Heath or whatever you know me as. But no, I wouldn't. And no, I would just ride it out. And I don't think he's going to come back for any long. I could be wrong, but I don't see it. Not with the movie list you said he's got coming up. It's not easy. Movies are harder than wrestling. Wrestling is more physically on your body, like injuries, with torn pecs and possible broken necks and like life-ending injuries. But movies, acting is a lot of work. There's a lot of things that go into it. You just don't shoot a movie in a month. These are like year projects, 8-month projects, depending upon your scene or what you're doing in the movie, and then it still goes on and on from there. So if he's got that coming up and sequel coming out and this, I don't foresee him besides a WrestleMania or SummerSlam here and there. Why make him a heel then? Why even do that? I would just come and just use him as best branding as possible as John Cena, and have fun,
Fair enough.
That's me though. That's just my
answer.
Opinion. Yeah.
Great, good answer. Is that what they say on Family Feud? Good answer.
Give it the Warrior.
I must have watched that clip like 20 times of you doing that.
Those that are just listening on Spotify, I'm holding up the Gangrel Slam buddy. He's shaking his head and he's doing the Warrior. He's got his arms and those.
Ooh. This is interesting. This is a good follow-up to the past question. Okay, so this is from Florida native. I think it says 239. So besides pro wrestling, have you ever tried making or being in any movies? What is your idea of a movie if you had full control?
Well, horror. Yeah, blood and guts, slasher films. That'd be me. But with some storyline and dialogue, a little bit more to it than just going around with a machete. But so Friday the 13th had storyline. They camp counts. They let them drown while they were having sex. And the mom, they got a little weird. But you had Jason Voorhees, and then you had Michael Myers, which I think I preferred the Rob Zombie mix on it when he told the story a little bit more. Not the second one with the white horse. That was just ridiculous. He was just trying to keep his wife working there, Sharon Zombie by there. But the Halloween they did were, and they broke down. You learned more about Michael Myers as a kid, what he thought or his vision of it or whatever. But I dug that. So it'd probably be horror or something. Probably vampire related. What else did I ever dabble in movies or do anything? I did a lot of extra stuff. I was in Iron Man 3, but you didn't see it because I ended up on the floor, the cutting room floor. So,
but you were there.
But I was there. I met Robert Downey. He was cool. I did a lot of just stuff like Human Centipede 3. You ever seen Human Centipede 3?
I've seen.
I just did a scene. I showed up and tried to leave because I wasn't feeling good that day, but then they ended up putting me in like a scene where I had diverticulitis or something, and they wanted to sew the main guy's mouth in my butt or whatever. So I did a terrible acting scene in a hospital bed with some stomach pains. Ooh, got the bubble guts. And then I did some no movies, but I did like guest star stuff like on Cougar Town and stuff like that. Love is a Long Road, I think, or something like that. That was cool, and that was cool. But it's a lot of work. And I did a lot of extra stuff that I don't remember. And there's probably, I remember one movie I did locally down here in Florida. It's in their local. It was a Ted Vernon. Remember Ted Vernon?
I don't.
He had something on the Wings of an Angel or something. It was horrible. It turned out a lot of local guys on it. But when I saw that, it was a scene where I came in and I get killed and I fall in the pool. Well, it's just like when I'm teaching wrestling and everything, I tell people, don't do what you think you see. Just do what feels natural. I did what I thought I saw in movies. I'm like, and I fell in the pool. Now, this was a low budget, so they didn't cut it, reshoot it, or do anything. It was just one take and done. And it was the silliest looking shit I ever seen. I'm flopping and my arms are going and I do a flip in the pool.
Roll the footage.
And I have to find it. It is horrible. So like I steered away from like acting after that. I was like, oh God, I am terrible at that. But it turns out it was a lot like wrestling. When I see these young talent, the young women and men, when they get hit or something, or they say somebody does an up and over, like they run at the guy in the buckle, but he jumps up and goes over them, and they stop in the buckle, but they hit and they start doing like a drunk rodeo clown or something. Whoa. I'm like, what are you doing? And I realize, and then I go back to my first movie experience, like, don't do what you think, do what feels natural. Like, put the situation in your head and what feels natural, and usually it's right. If it feels silly, it's probably just ridiculously silly, So that steered me away from it because I realized how hard that was. But then later, like with a lot of help from my buddy Joey, he's been on here. He asked a question one time. It was sent in. It happened to field that because of the music. But Joey, he took every acting class. He read all these books and all that. So I skipped the acting classes. I skipped the books, and they said, Joey, I got an audition for this. So let's do that. So what helped is I just quit giving a crap. Literally, when I booked Cougar Town, I came in from a funeral. The audition was at 3. I ran in there and was supposed to play an 80s wrestler. They had these lines, and I went in there and I go, blah, 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 and I don't give a crap if I get this or not. And I left. They didn't even put me on hold. The agent called and said, you booked the spot? What did you do? I just went in there and just didn't give a crap. I nailed the line somewhere along the guidelines of it, but I came in there with the exact attitude I had and how I felt at the moment because I really didn't want to be there. And I was sick of it. One more audition and I booked it. So then that helped me later, and I did book other stuff because I just didn't worry anymore. Before my biggest downfall on wrestling and WWE was promos. Like, I don't know if you ever seen the one interview. It was The Brood. It was like the first time we spoke with Michael Hayes. I think we gave him a bloodbath. He was wearing all yellow or something, Doc Hendricks. And so we go out there. But prior to this, it gave me and Edge like sheets and sheets of paper. Like I remember reading these promos, and I'm going, I'd ask him, I go, what does this word mean? I didn't even know what half the words meant in this promo. Like, so not knowing what they meant, how are you even going to get the point across if you're saying stuff you don't even understand what this word is? I don't remember the words, but there were some big ass words. So, but what did I do? I'm a follower. I'm gonna do good, or I'm gonna do it exactly the way they asked me, and I try to read it, and I go out there and I'm like, and I'm stumbling all over these words. And if you go back, you look at it. Anybody can go back and look at it. I think it's The Brood when they first speak. It'll be the interview with Michael Hayes. It's just Doc Hendricks then in The Brood, and then we're on there, and I try to ramble through all this stuff. I'm tongue tied on it. I got fangs in, and then when Adam Edge gets up, he goes something. He says something, but then he basically goes, and remember, beware, take care, because the freaks come out at night. And he gave that kind of Edge smile. I was like, you son of a bitch. You had like 2 sheets of paper, and you just put one little half a paragraph, you mother. People popped, oh, Edge, that was great. And it was like a lesson I learned. You just, if you don't understand it, it's just better to ask for forgiveness after, than ask for permission before, just go do it. And you know what? Because he's a great dude and a great guy, an amazing human being, and I love him so much. Like, I was happy for him, like super, super happy. But deep down inside, I was like, you dumbass. like to myself, like, why did you even do that? You don't even know what these words mean, and all this stuff, So, and acting's a lot like that. And my experiences was that when I just stopped caring, they'd give me certain things and I would just put it in my own words, but get their point across. They always seem to be kind of happy with it, So I realized, and just you got to like, be yourself. Really, it's just an extension of yourself because you're picturing what you think that they see or you see. You're not picturing. You got to be who you are. Even with the getting shot, I would. I'm not a guy that's gonna go, I did do a flip in the pool when I got shot. Bullets came this way, but that flipped in this way. That forward flipped in. I'm getting shot in the chest, and I do a front flip into the pool. What sense did that even make? The bullets would have shot me backwards, but the momentum. You take multiple bullets, you're gonna go back. You're not gonna blah 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 flail your arms and then do a flip into the pool like a front flip.
Unless you're a parkour guy.
Now the bullet could have spun me. I could turn it in, but the point was I did what I thought. Like you see on TV, it's not what feels natural to you, and everything really to be successful, movies and acting and everything. Anybody that's a character, you watch a Brad Pitt movie. It's always Brad Pitt. It's just Brad Pitt being in a different situation, Or Keanu Reeves. He's not the greatest actor of all, but I'll John Wick it all day long.
Ditto.
Kevin Costner, another guy that I don't think is a serious, but every movie he's in, it's just an extension, and he does well at them. They're always just there. You learn that you just got to be yourself. You're trying to be somebody else. Yes, you can be in their situation and life experience, but it's still you. It's still you, and you have to be yourself. Well, that was my experiences, though. That was a long-winded answer for that question.
Well, I was going to say that I'm pretty sure Florida got back its incentive to start filming down here again. So there might be a lot more opportunities for you to maybe fall into a pool again. You never know.
Maybe.
Or
You got to find time for that. More time.
Well,
although with acting, one thing I can say about that is when you book a good gig, those checks never stop coming. They start changing names. They go from something to become Disney or whoever's bought whoever out, but checks still come for that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
residuals,
my friend did Rock of Ages, and he was one scene, and he still gets checks like every month. Every time they're for 2 or 3 cents, but
video or streaming or something. Yeah, super cool.
All right. We got time for more, right? Just want to make sure. Okay. Yeah. I want to make sure we didn't talk about Bigfoot for too long. Okay. This is from, I believe it says Valentino Sparks or Sporks, but it's one of the two, Sporks or Sparks.
Valentino, what's up?
What is or was your relationship with Vince McMahon like? And then they also said, you're my idol.
Well, thank you very much for being a fan. Thank you, Valentino. My relationship now with him, there is no relationship, nothing good or bad. I think on the negative side, my relationship with him is the name, Gangrel. He'll probably never admit it or anything, but the way it came back to me was they called me on a Friday, Vince Russo, to do the vampire thing, and I sent them a bunch of stuff with the Gangrel name. And, it had Gangrel on it. Gangrel was a clan. It's not a vampire. Gangrel was a clan of vampires, just like Bruja, different things for role-playing. And when they pushed the thing through, he says he's got to have a name. I think Vince McMahon picked that name, Gangrel. Well, it turns out it was copywritten and all that stuff. So they had to lease the name for like 5 years to pay a lot of money. So if people ask exactly how long I've been in WWE, I think if you look it up, you'll see when that lease runs out, my job ran out. I think it was just that he had hard on towards the name. Not me personally, because he was always cool to me. Like he was there was one time where he was gonna fire me. I worked Scotty Taylor on my debut, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to learn when to get over and not get over in matches. So I worked too hot. Scotty took care of me, made me look like $1 million. What a good guy, friend. And then Brian Christopher, who's a friend of mine too, but Brian is not can be as nice as Brian. Brian's been around the block. He's wrestled a few years. Scotty's super nice, but Brian, he talks to me, and this is my second match there to do a 50-50 match. And it was a good match. Technically, if I'd been there and I'm already over in the company, it would have been a great match. But we do the whole match, and I happen to be friends all the pyro and the backstage guys. So when I came back, they said, hey, man, Vince was screaming up there, like, at Vince Russo, what do you want me to get over this guy? He can't even go out there and beat anybody. Because, you know, it was supposed to be me dominating Brian, like, just like, boom, 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 I beat him. But I went out there and made it a competitive match. So those guys smarted me up. So the only problem I ever had, Vince, so I've had a few different things, but my first one was that they said he was screaming, and I was done. And I remember he was power walking back. He was coming, and I had to, like, and I still thank all the pyro guys and the roadies and the techs and stuff, man. They saved my life, my job more than once, you know. Those are the dudes you need to know, man. You need to be good to them. So make sure you guys, everybody's listening to that, you know. Be kind to everybody, dude. Be kind to everybody, because you should be. Period. Not for something, but you should just be a human being. You guys should smile more and be friendly more to people. But yeah, he tries to march by, and I have to stop him. I go, I heard you're upset. He goes, do we have a problem? I go, I heard you're upset. Like, that, you know, I went out there and the match went this way and this way. He goes, yeah, I'm listening. And then I go, I'm sorry. I go, you got to remember, I've been doing jobs here, getting beat here, like, since 1987. Now we're like, how many years into, like, what 98 now? I go, I messed up, man. That'll never happen again. He goes, it won't happen again. I go, no. He goes, fine, we're good. And then he just walked out. I was like, so, but he was always cool with me. That was the only, like, thing I had to plead for anything with him, you know, like I was on the bad end of getting fired, you know. There's been a couple times where I thought I was going to get fired, and I just laughed, and he asked why I was laughing, and I explained to him, and he goes, you're right, get out of here, just don't hit him, you know, or something. But it's always been good. It's always been, like, cool. I think if there's anything bad with my relationship with him, it would be the name. I think the name is a sour thing because he's the one that picked it. Like, but he blamed legal, you know. But now I have the trademarks, I have everything, all the stuff for Gangrel. So I'm golden with that. So, you know, if you need Gangrel and you're looking to license it, call me.
He's your guy.
You want Gangrel this? You want Gangrel that? Call me. You want Gangrel jewelry? Call me.
Ooh, Gangrel jewelry.
Hot sauces, whatever. I'm your man. But yeah, that's my relationship with him, man. So I'd say he'd be like, what's up, Dave, if he saw me or something like that. We don't talk. We're not friends or anything like that.
But no bad blood.
But no bad blood. None on my end, and none that I know of, other than I think the name probably.
Okay.
Which I was innocent of. I didn't pick that name. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have went with it. It was too hard to say. Gangrel, Gargamel, Gangrene. You get it all mixed up. I mean, most people just call me G-Rail or Grelly after that, you know. or in England, they call me Gangers. They call me a lot of people just call me Gangers.
I like Gangy, too.
Gangy, Adam, Edge call me Gangy.
Yeah. Like, was there a name that you were hoping for over Gangrel, or?
I had no idea because they had told me I wasn't going to do the vampire thing or anything like that. So I wouldn't have. I mean, I was good with Vampire Warrior. Okay. But being with the Ultimate Warrior, which we touched base on last episode, I don't think that would ever happen at that point.
Fair.
Yeah.
We got time for more, right? Okay. Ready for the next one? Did you also want to give a shout out to your 666th follower?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was like FF or something. I'm not sure what his name was. But you know who you were, the 666th follower on YouTube. Thank you for being a 666. If we'd have been thinking, I would have sponsored that, but I don't know. That's kind of, I don't think that's an evil number. Some people think it's an evil number, but I don't think it's an evil number, 666.
Me neither.
13 is my lucky number. So like, a lot of people think that's a bad luck number. But speaking of that, before we move on this Pandora's Box, if you're listening to this on YouTube or anywhere else, or if it's Spotify, wherever you listen to us, go over, kick us some YouTube love on there. Go give us a like on there. Even if you're listening to this platform and watching it somewhere else, please do me a favor. Go kick and subscribe on YouTube. And then go back to watching and listening wherever you want. Like and subscribe and leave a comment because they end up in Pandora's Box and then Genki over here is going to answer them for you. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. All right. Mahalo. Okay, so this is from... I believe he's asked a question before, and I probably massacred his name before. I'm going to do it again. It's from Curb. Solo. Yeah. It looks like it says, what's your take on Dave Meltzer? It seems like he has a personal grudge against WWE, and he might be on AEW's payroll. Well, if you listen to Jim Cornette, that'd be the case, I guess. I think that's where I heard that from. Meltzer, my take on Meltzer... I'm not always, like, I think we've talked about this before on here. I'm not always seen eye to eye on him. There's been stuff, like, all the way back to where, like, I don't think for some reason I got the vibe when I was a kid, I'm talking a kid, I'm talking about 17, 18, 19 years old, that he didn't like care for me much for some reason. I think he may have been friends with my old partner. They had childhood relationship or something. So I thought a lot of times his work was biased because he would write, I threw some shitty kicks and this and this and this and that. And I remember my partner laughing, and because we wore masks, you couldn't tell us apart at some point if you weren't really paying attention. And I go, that wasn't me. I didn't throw any kicks in that match. I told you any of that. That was you. And this is his friend, right? So I think he just, sometimes, whatever. And I don't know if he's on the payroll or not. I don't know. I know AEW is like really super fan driven and stuff. It's a different breed of fans and stuff than the traditional like WWF fans, and maybe and the writers, they tend to have a lot of writers like, and I like Alex Marvez. He's a South Florida guy, right? You remember Alex Marvez? And he's working, and they had Chris Van Vliet for a while. He was living down here, and then he like a lot of people want to work with him because it's a trending new thing, you know. A lot of guys will say it's not the Hey Brother company, like let's say WWE was the Hey Brother company, but you could say AEW might be the Hey Friend company. I don't know. You can look at it in many other ways, but it seems like it looks, though, when you read stuff, that these like guys like Meltzer and other people tend to like show favoritism. But maybe that's just what they like, because if you listen to all Dave Meltzer stuff before, he was a big fan of All Japan and stuff and just like that. And AEW is not too far off from being what that was. You know, it's just smaller guys, but still, it's that style, so maybe he might just particularly like it better. I don't know. But I don't know if he's on payroll or not. I couldn't tell you that because I don't see their pay stubs or this or this or this and that. But he might just be a fan of it. I don't know.
Is that a thing people are saying, that he's on the payroll? I haven't heard that, but
I've heard people say that. But
okay.
I've heard Jim Cornette mention it, because once in a while, when I'm doing cardio, like, you know how they monetize things. I think they probably do that with this stuff, where they put short things. You know, I might clipped on anytime I hear like payroll this, I'll clip on it to try to catch up, because I don't get to watch the show. So I tend to like do the wrong thing and listen to the gossip stuff first. But sometimes I like to gauge whether, like, when Jim Cornette says something, because everybody's like, he just hates. Well, yeah, I'd say I don't think he's hating. I think 80% of his stuff's pretty factual, like how I feel. But at the same time, I think he is over the top. He doesn't give some things he doesn't think it through, like, because he just cuts it off before they explain it. Because, like, I've seen that show or something, or I'll know that person and go, no, it's not like that. It wasn't like that. But he just goes, bam, 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 bam. He's just like one level and getting higher on it, instead of like sitting back and maybe like trying to look at all sides, you know, very open-mindedly. Sometimes I don't feel he's open-minded, but I don't know if it's a work, or if that's just really how he feels. He is pretty like passionate, you know. So, but I mean, most of his stuff, I agree. A lot of his stuff, 75-80%, I agree. But then there's that 20 to 15%. I'm like, oh no, he's just being mean or silly, or you're just not being open minded or something. Because like, I like AEW. I like a lot of the things. I like what they're trying to do. I just, like I've said before, I don't think a lot of guys have had TV or experience time, so that's the problem there, you know. So you got a lot of people on the same level, but not a lot of seasoned, you know, people mixing in. Has done a lot of things, and so, you know, it is what it is. But it's either going to get better and move forward, and then it might take over. I don't know if anybody can ever compete with WWE. Who knows? You know, they're talking about selling the company, hear all these rumors and stuff like that. I don't know. They've been such a brand for so long. WWE, WWF, WWE, so long. You know, and anybody, you know, you work 6 months on their show, you're like, you could, and you work 6 months on the AEW, and you take the two. You know, so you work 6 months there, and I work 6 months there, and then you send them out in the indie world or out whatever. People are gonna tend to remember the WWE one because it's so branded. You know, so strong. But I think if AEW keeps chipping away and they dial it in, you only get better when you work all the time. So you get better or you don't. So they got a good chance. I mean, I'm back and forth on my opinion sometimes, but as I watch the show, I just watched like Miro and Pillman. So I'm trying to watch it more now before we're coming here, even though we didn't talk about it much. But I see it's like it's gotten better. But it's all you can do is get better each time. That's all you can ask is to keep getting better and get better. You can't just go wave a wand and be this like company overnight, especially when you're trying to be a revolution and change things and stuff. So you're gonna have growing pains and you're gonna have slips and slides and stuff like that. And you're gonna have small successes that'll eventually roll over to be big successes and and stuff like that. So I hope the best because the more wrestling out there is better for everybody. Better for everybody.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I think we just learned. So you're listening to Jim Cornette while you're doing cardio. Is that the go-to?
No. It's usually it just pops up because maybe I've clicked on it, so I think it like the alpha rhythms or something. Because whatever it is, what was it called?
The fungus pops.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Man.
Algorithm.
These things, I think, whatever, they're spying on me, so they pop up thinking what I want to see. So I'll go like, oh, well, that looks interesting, because but no, I try to watch wrestling. I watch a lot of all Japan wrestling matches, and a lot of all Japan women's from the 80s and early 90s. I'm big all Japan stuff. I'll come in, I'll send this dude Trevor Reed, TC Reed, and I'll send him.
Shout out Trevor.
I'll say, have you seen this match? I'll usually send him something like some sick suplexes on the head or something like that. But I'm very much a fan of that faster pace and harder working style too. I always have been, coming to being a Stampede fan through Calgary, and then going from Calgary to all Japan, and I went to Puerto Rico, and then I went back to Memphis and had to relearn how to work. That's a whole other story. And I'll explain that whole process where I had to went back to Memphis, but then I was doing Japan tours in between all that and had to deal with the karate guys shooting on me, all kinds of stuff. But that's a whole other story.
Put it in the book. Write it in the book.
Right in the book. It's in the book. It's in the bad book. It doesn't remember nothing. But it's like an Etch-a-Sketch. You shake my head, it just erases all my memories. You can draw this beautiful artwork, and then I'll shake my head, and it's all erased. And then I've already forgot what we were talking about now. Let's be round.
Sasquatch.
Bigfoot. Yeah. Episode 7. But yeah, so I don't know what we're talking about.
Jim Cornette, all Japan, yeah.
All Japan, yeah. But what was the original question? Did we cover the answer? Did I just rambled too much?
No, yeah. No, you covered
Curve Solo, or no, that was somebody else. All right.
Dave Meltzer.
Oh, Meltzer, yeah. So no, I don't know if he's on payroll or not. Be smart if they did. We can't blame somebody for doing that. But I think he's just always been a fan of that style. He always was big for Japan, covering all that. He's always like to be ahead of things before they happen. So maybe he just sees that. Maybe he's just a bigger fan of this, and maybe he's sick of WWE. I don't know. I like all wrestling, so for him, I can't answer. I have no idea. So I should have just said I don't know from the beginning. Should have said I don't know, man. Sorry for the long-winded thing.
Oh, that's all right. How are we doing on time?
Yeah, they're good.
We're good?
Good.
One more?
Yeah, more in there.
You guys can do to finish out. We're
No,
good.
okay.
Are you ready for the final question?
All right. One more question.
Okay. This one is from Connor McLeod or McLeod 1481169. Hopefully that's not his security number. What do you think about Mexican?
867-5309.
So good. Jenny, I got your number.
That's it.
Okay. What do you think we'll have to do a karaoke one. What do you think about Mexican lucha libre?
Love it. Absolutely love the costumes, the masks. It was one of my favorite wrestlers. I have a lot of favorite wrestlers, but when it comes to character wise, was the Masked Superstar, No Mascaras. Always loved the mask, and I love the fact that he could take one mask off, have a different mask. Mm-hmm. The mask matches the boots. Mask matches the boots. Masked Superstar is one of my absolute favorite. But lucha, I love it. I don't understand it. Technically, when I went down there one time, it was in Monterey. It was with Del Rio when he was called something else, and I don't know, but it was an 8-man with La Parca, or LA Park, they call him now. They call all this. They spend I think they just did this to rib me or something. Because literally, I got married in Las Vegas, flew in straight from the wedding, straight to this show. So I'm still I hadn't slept or anything. It was a rough night, and they call the stuff, and I'm watching all these guys, and they're just drinking and doing all kinds of illegal stuff in the locker room, and they're calling. I mean, these crazy spots, in broken English for one, like and half Spanish. I understand a little bit of Spanish, but not everybody's dialect's different, and like, so I don't know what the hell they were saying. So some of the stuff, but I go through it, and I take the time to like remember all this. We go out there, it was an 8-man. Not one thing happened they talked about. Not one thing. It was just a free for all. They did everything random. This so different, and that's kind of like what I see when I'm watching it. But I dig it because I think it's like an art. I think it's like an art form. I dig it. I dig the different dives and flips, and it's amazing. How they roll through stuff, and it's amazing athletics. Since really. AEW is a lot like that, just white dudes, like more guy. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes, But
well, did you see the documentary "You Can't Kill David Arquette"?
Yes, I did.
And when he went down to Mexico to work with, the
we're wrestling out in the street and doing street wrestling for money,
that was a whole new world. I've never seen anything like it, but you could tell he learned a lot, from wrestling.
Well, yeah, it's. Like a lot of the Japanese would go and train in Mexico, and they'd spend time down there training, and that's why the Japanese would like do the arm drags or work different sides, and they're very versatile and stuff like that, because they would go and spend a lot of time in Mexico, or a lot of them went down and spent time in Puerto Rico, all the young guys, because they had to get experience somewhere, and then they'd bring them back up in Japan before they would get pushed and stuff like that. So I do. So the question is, do I like, what do I think about Lucha Libre? And I love it. I like it. I think everything has a place and everything has a market. Do I want to do it? Not necessarily. Am I capable of doing it? Not necessarily. I guess I could. I could be a good base catch guy, because I know how to set for all that stuff and catch them. Like, I'm working with a lot of the talent now, and all the stuff you see, like NXT too. Everybody's flying now and stuff like that. But I don't know how long that's going to happen. Did you hear about that Vince McMahon went down there and he was looking for bigger guys, 6'2" up or 220 or heavier or something like that. Yeah, interesting.
No more 205 live, huh?
Well, when I started out, I was a small guy, right? So when I started, I was 6'2", 220, 230, and they told me I was lucky to be a junior heavyweight, Then now when I go work, sometimes I feel like I'm just this big old ogre. It's all these like small children, and stuff. But you can't. It doesn't take away from their talent, though. The stuff they do is amazing. It's just, it's like going and to watch the Olympics, and you just because they're doing backflips and this and that. It's amazing stuff. It's no different than what they're doing in the wrestling. You're just so used to seeing road warriors and these big guys and stuff. So now, I believe everything cycles, and it's a cycle and it's an era. So it's coming around. So that was there. It's going to come around. It'll probably go back to more characters and bigger guys and stuff like that.
Well, I like the characters.
Characters and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think that'll ever go away. There's still, it's going to be room for that on the shows, but I think you'll go back to like some of the, I think they just, the flips are hard to keep people's attentions unless you like have a good storyline with it to make sense, or it just becomes one of those matches, like a lot, like, and nothing against like little people and the women when wrestling, they would just they like be labeled, that's that match, that special whatever you want to call it match, that special attraction.
Yeah,
match,
special
attraction. So I think a lot of it may go to that, unfortunately, and they go back to the bigger guys because everything's kind of a cycle. But I still think there's room for it, and I like it. I like Lucha Libre. I like watching that stuff. I just can't do it. Do I understand it? No, but I'm in awe about it and amazed by it, and I watch it. I'll secretly put it on and watch it. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
We answered everything in Pandora's Box.
All right.
So like you kind of mentioned before, whatever other questions you guys may have for Gangrel on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook.
Yes, and just because I don't address them, I see the YouTube ones because it floods my email for some reason. I'm not smart enough to have 3 separate emails or anything. So I do see all the questions. I should write them down so I can say thank you to you guys. But there's lots and lots of questions or comments, positive comments. Thank you, appreciate it. To the one person that has a problem with the shelves, I feel you. I understand, but here in the studio, they had a legitimate reason. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to break it down because I don't think you'd believe me anyways. But I feel you. and I feel you. There's a couple of them, but let's just call it a bit of a gangster lean. You know what I mean?
Oh, is that what it is?
Like,
It's personality.
yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah, these guys want to look down on you. They want to look over my shoulder. They don't want to be glaring
that's
you
the
this
Miz,
way. They
eh?
want to peer you down over me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy. But yeah. So cool. I guess I'm rambling
Cool.
again because it's one of those days where I just ramble aimlessly. So I apologize if you made it all the way through this, but thank you. And please put in your comments, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Thank you, Miss Kid Cadet, for
Thank
everything.
you.
Thank you for the Bigfoot lectures and or some con knowledge or whatever else we covered. We covered a little bit of everything,
So much.
music, so much.
It was
Just
a lot
ramble.
today.
I had no one set thought. I couldn't isolate and conquer one thing today. I just rambled all over, and I thank you for putting up with that too.
Of course. Of course. This was so much fun.
All right, so this is episode 7, Fangin' Bang with Gangrel, Kid Cadet. Want some, get some, bad enough, take some? Or did I cut you out?
No, it's okay.
Want some?
Get some.
Bad enough?
Take some.
Have a great day. See you next week.